Hello, everybody. This is Sportsball Roundup. We are back with a brand new season, brand new episodes. And joining me, I have my co-host, Reese Webb. Hi, Reese. How's it
Hey,
going?
it's going well.
Good. A couple weeks went by in the NFL, about 3. So, we're on week 4. And, honestly, my biggest surprise so far in the NFL season. So far, I should say, because of the fact that, now he's injured. Got to get to it. Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah, they did come. I would say they came out of the blue, but they sure were one of the teams we didn't expect in that specific division. I mean they're up there now with the Bills. I mean, I think everybody expected the Bills to
kind of run away with
it.
Yeah.
And now it seems they have a tough challenge ahead of them.
Right. And honest to God, I think they came out of nowhere with their, Tua, and maybe it was their off season with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, that was certainly a big grab for them.
I mean, getting some weapons and getting something for Tua to throw at might have been the difference, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see what kind of impact Tyreek Hill actually had, because now they're down Tua for at least a couple games.
Right.
I would imagine, because he, if you didn't see the game, he was carried off on a stretcher after a super scary hit.
Right. And
honest to God, I think he was knocked out for a couple seconds.
Yeah, it kind of seemed that way. It kind of looked like it.
Because the way his hand kind of crumpled.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that only happens when you get knocked out, really.
Yeah, that was a weird moment. For sure, doesn't happen when you're like awake and
right. Yeah.
on point.
Yeah.
But like you said, they went out and got Tyreek Hill in the offseason. That was a big pickup for them. They went out, got a second receiver in Waddle, which is another big one for him when Tyreek Hill is getting double covered, triple covered. But certainly a lot of targets for their quarterbacks, no matter who's going to quarterback them. I know Teddy Bridgewater is gonna step in for Tua at least the next couple of games until he's ready to go again. So hopefully that Miami can keep this momentum going, and they might shock a few people.
Yeah, and speaking of Teddy Bridgewater, he we should have asked Randy before we taped the show about this. Randy's one of our good buddies, and we went to school with. Well, Reese went to school with. I know him from kind of through Reese, but we should ask him what he feels about Teddy Bridgewater, being that he's a Vikings fan, and
big Vikings fan. Yeah.
And Teddy Bridgewater was the best thing since sliced bread in Minnesota, until he got his. I think it was something with his knee, wasn't it? His ACL was torn.
I believe so.
And the Vikings then said, "To heck with you. We're going elsewhere." And further on down the line, I think maybe a couple seasons later they got Cousins.
Yeah, I think in between there they had that
they had Wentz,
postseason.
didn't they?
No, they had a postseason run with Case Keenum, I believe.
Keenum, that's right.
Keenum was a pretty decent one. They had Sam Bradford in there.
Sam Bradford's kind of a bum, but
well, I mean,
come on, name me where he is right now.
I can't be. I wouldn't be able to do that.
You know, honestly, it's week 1 of our podcast. I wish I had a cricket sound effect so I could play that right now. But yeah, you can't name me where he is right now.
No, I can't. I can't think of anywhere.
It's crazy to think about that because he was a starting quarterback.
Right. Yeah.
He was Minnesota's number 1 guy at one point in time, and now you can't name where he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird to think about, man. It's weird to think about. Also, and weird things to think about, you wouldn't think that Tampa Bay, led by Tom Brady, would struggle.
Yeah, he did.
With the with anybody, but he's only had what, 2, maybe 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it took him 59 minutes and some odd seconds for him to score in the Green Bay game last week, which I'm thankful for. I won that money. I won that bet. For those of you who don't know, I've kind of dabbled in some sports betting, and we'll get to that in a special segment later on in this podcast. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I didn't think that Tom Brady would struggle like he has been. I mean, I knew that he had weapons all throughout his career that he could rely on, whether it be Gronkowski, whether it be Edelman, people like that. But now that Mike Evans was on a suspension, right?
Yep.
For fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And Julio Jones has been injured, right?
Yep. He
So,
really does
he had Fournette, but that was about it, really,
Yeah.
for his weapons this past week. So,
yeah, it was interesting to actually see Tom Brady struggle for what seemed like first or third time, especially against the Packers defense. Sorry to tell you this.
Oh yeah, I know.
Sorry to say that the Packers.
I'm a Packers
defense
fan,
is
but I can recognize that
not that great.
Yeah, the Packers defense is. I mean, we're called cheeseheads because we're from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Cheese, but we should be called the Green Bay Swiss cheese or something like that, especially in regards to our defense. I mean, our defense hasn't been good for quite a while.
Yeah.
We've had some sparks here and there, like, Kenny Clark, Clay Matthews, but those are one guy out of 11 on that field. Mm-hmm. Not to say they can't make a difference, because we have seen great defensive players make differences in games, but week in and week out, it's the entire unit that has to come together, and it's our Green Bay is known for its offense.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Tom Brady. If he just wasn't seeing the defense well, if he was thinking about something else, maybe off the field. I don't know. But down the stretch, he really didn't seem in that game like he was fully into it, like he has been over the years.
Right.
It definitely looked like something like was bothering him, either off the field, on the field, on the sidelines. I'm not sure. I don't want to speak for him, but it wasn't Tom Brady, if you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, he did get fined, or no, everybody, the entire league got warnings once he broke 2 iPads the week prior.
Yes.
Or not iPads, they're Microsoft Surface, but NFL's got sponsors, whatever. But he broke 2 of them. And so, they gave the entire league warning, like, yo, these are kind of expensive, man. You can't just be snapping them in half whenever you feel like it.
Right. But if you watch that game, it did come down to the last play. Tampa Bay.
Can we talk about that for a second? I mean, me as a Green Bay fan, I mean, my heart was beating out of my chest. I mean, I had flashbacks to watching the Super Bowl where, Tom Brady came all the way back against Atlanta and ended up winning that game. I started having flashbacks and like, oh God, here we go again. It's gonna come down to a Tom Brady drive, and sure enough, it did. And I don't know. After the game, there was speculation that Aaron Rodgers saw something on the Buccaneers jumbotron. Some were speculating it was the tablet itself, and Tom Brady was starting to draw up plays and stuff during one of the timeouts. Nobody really knows for sure because Aaron Rodgers said that he saw something, but he would not disclose what it was, and we can only speculate what it was. But he saw something. He said something to the defensive coordinator, and just like that, we had two delay of games in a row. One was not called. That ended up being the touchdown. But Tampa Bay was in a position where they didn't just need a touchdown. They needed a 2-point conversion to tie the game and send it into overtime. And on the first play for the 2-point conversion, they got their second delay of game. And this one was called. Made the defense go backwards 5 yards and try it again from the 7?
Yeah, I believe the 6 or 7 yard line.
And that's an infinitely harder play than from the 2.
Yeah, which in the end made the difference.
That honest to God, I think that was the game winning, or I guess the game losing error.
Yeah. Was
Tom Brady, no timeouts left, just let the clock run all the way down, and the ref saw it and threw the flag, and that was honestly that was game because there's more space, there's more you can do as a defense from 6 yards away versus 2 yards away. So I think that's what made the difference in the game was that penalty and also the lack of production on the offense. I mean, they had 3 points for pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, it was interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, because you don't expect that from Tom Brady. You might expect that from a rookie QB or a lower tier quarterback, but not Tom Brady.
No, not him. On the other side, Aaron played well, as he usually does.
I don't know if he played well, to his standards, but he played well to NFL standards.
Yeah.
His standards are ungodly. His standards are 5 touchdowns, 3,000 yards, something stupid like that. But, 2 touchdowns and
well, he did good with what he's working with.
Yeah, I mean his top couple receivers.
When your best receiver is Alan Lazard.
Right. I mean, no discredit to Alan Lazard. He's a fantastic, he's a fantastic wideout, but if that's it,
yeah.
That, and you got Aaron Jones, which Aaron Jones was
fantastic.
Phenomenal last week.
Phenomenal.
And I think that's what led up to Aaron Rodgers getting 2 touchdowns.
Right.
Is because they got the ground game going early and often and just set the passing game up because they're like, oh gosh, where's Aaron Jones? What's he doing? Where's he going? A.J. Dillon, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Between those two, those are the dynamic duo in the running game. And, between those two, they kind of kept the defense on their toes looking for them, kind of freed up some of the receivers for the eventual Aaron Rodgers touchdown passes.
Yeah, and I mean that could have played a part in it too with Tom Brady staying on the sidelines during those drives, but I really think Tom Brady gets too worked up about the long drives by the other teams.
Right, no, because he's Tom Brady. He's like, hey, I've been here before. I've done this before. I can do it again.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't really worry about what the defense is doing, but I don't know, man. Everything just worked against them and the Bucks this week. Him and the Bucks this week. So, or this past week, I should say. So, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, the one of the marquee matchups that we're going to preview later on in this episode is the KC, Tampa Bay game. And
Sunday Night Football.
Honest to God, Mahomes, I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I don't know. He's kind of been here and there and everywhere. I don't know really what to make of him this year so far. So, week 4 it'll be interesting. I mean, a loss to the Colts.
Yeah. In overtime.
Overtime. I mean, KC historically has done well in overtime. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Really don't know what to make of that. We'll preview the rest of that later on and, get back into the NFL. But I want to talk about baseball a little bit. Aaron Judge, he got it. 61, baby.
61 home runs. He's now tied with Yankee great Roger Maris. And do you think he can break that record in the regular season down the stretch?
He's tied with him, right?
He's tied with Maris right now. He's got about 6 more games left in the regular season.
6 more games in the regular season.
You think he can do it?
Yeah. I mean, that's 6 games.
Yeah.
That's 6 games. That's probably, I don't know. Let's just put it at 3 at-bats a game. 18 at-bats to get 1 home run.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be fair. It is a pretty tall order to get a home run in the major leagues, especially on a time limit of 6 games, roughly 18 at bats. That's a pretty tall order, but I think Aaron Judge is up to the task. I think he passes the other Yankee great, and I think he gets it done.
I agree with you. I think he does get it done. Might take him. It might maybe to like 4 more games. Maybe he does it.
I think it'll be a nail biter. I think it'll be game 5 or game 6 that he gets it done. I think it'll come right down to it. And then that's going to be the big thing on ESPN, for a week.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It'll be like, will Aaron Judge get 62?
Yeah.
It'll be 62 watch for about probably a week or so until he gets it, and then it'll be a celebration for a day or two, and then the news cycle flips over. You know how it is.
And then postseason start, and then postseason starts here real soon. 5 out of the 6 teams have already claimed their.
You want to run down those 5 real quick? Who are they?
Sure. So the Yankees, as we're talking about Aaron Judge, have clinched the AL East. They're headed back to the postseason. Astros, no surprise, have clinched the AL Central. They're headed back to the playoffs.
They're honestly the bad guy in my books. I mean, for the sign stealing and the bad juju that comes out of the Houston area with the Astros, and so I don't know. It's them, and I think
they're in the easiest American League division.
Yes,
with
I would agree.
Oakland, Texas, the Angels. The Angels aren't terrible with Shohei, but they're not the Astros.
But it is just honestly, it is the Shohei show.
Yeah,
that's really all they got in.
Yeah, I mean they might have a chance.
Or they do have Trout too. They do have Trout too. I forgot about him.
They might have a Trout They might have a chance if Trout was healthy the whole year, but he wasn't.
Right.
So it was the Shohei show in LA.
Who else we got on that that playoff roster so far. And it's interesting, while you're looking at that, it's interesting that I think you said starting this year, they will be doing playoffs differently.
Yeah.
Is it this year that they're going to start this?
Yeah, there's a third wild card team. Instead of 3 division winners and 2 wild card, there's 3 wild cards.
So how's that going to work? Are they going to face, I guess, a division winner? I guess
I'm not
in a wild card style playoff, because that would be terrible. Like let's say the Yankees, okay, they won their division. They have to play somebody like, let's just put it out there. Let's say the Angels do it. Say the Angels are a wild card team. They have to play the Angels in a playoff or in a wild card style format. Let's just say that's what it is. Okay, that's hypothetically. I don't know. Let's just say that's what it is. Wild card. What is it? Best of 3.
A wild card game.
Wild card, or it's one game. It's one game.
One game.
So that makes it even harder.
Yeah.
So therefore, what if the Angels knock off the Yankees because that's how the new format is? Because let's be honest, with baseball is one of the only sports that the anomalies don't usually happen. It's 162 games, then it's a wild card, or then it's the postseason series, and then it's the World Series.
Yes.
There's series of games where a one game playoff, anomalies can happen. You can get a bad matchup or a good matchup on a bad night and end up losing.
Yeah.
And so, but baseball, you found a perfect solution where the top team in each league come together, and play each other in the World Series. Because of the way the format worked, the series of games, usually you might steal one every now and again as the underdog, but usually in a series the better team ends up winning. And so in this new wildcard format, it'll be interesting to see if they go how this plays out, and to see I guess the third team, who do they play?
Yeah, it's interesting because in this new format, old format, you'd have your 3 division winners in each league and then 2 wild cards.
Yeah, and the wild cards would play each other, and then you'd have the winner, and then you'd have the top 4.
Yep, and then the winner of the wild card would play the top seed with the best record.
Right.
In each.
Right. But with the new format.
Yeah, you have the 3 division winners and 3 wild card spots.
So you have 6 teams.
So you have an even number.
Yeah, you have an even number. You don't have even number of teams, odd number of wild card positions.
Right. So what I'm guessing, I'm not for sure about this, but what I'm guessing they're going to do is have the 6th team is make it like a seed
base for
playoffs.
Wild card. So like the bottom 2 play each other, and the
kind
top
of like a
gets
basketball type thing where they seed everybody by standings. So you'll have the 1 versus the 6, 2 versus the 5. I'm guessing. I'm not for sure.
Right.
But
and more
it
details
seems that way.
Right, and we've got 6 games left. More details will come out. We'll probably have, a clearer picture pretty soon.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
As of right now, we can only guess and we can only speculate how this is going to play out.
Right. So the AL Central is taken by Cleveland,
which is not really surprising. I mean, Cleveland's a heck of a good team, and so, and they have been, and it's kind of nice to see them come back to. They had a down couple of years. After 2016, after they played the Cubs, but
And will
It's
this
kind of
be
nice to see them come back and maybe Reese, because now they have it. Because now they are the longest drought.
Yeah.
Maybe break it.
Maybe break their streak. Do you know if it is the first time Cleveland has made the playoffs with their name as the Guardians and not the Indians?
Is it the first time? Or are you asking?
I'm asking you. I believe it is.
I think it is too. I mean, I can hop on the quick Google machine while you get some more standings and
All right.
find that out.
So the American League division winners, as I said, were the Yankees in the East, Astros in the Central, Astros in the West, and Cleveland in the Central. The division winners in the National League, Dodgers with the best record in the entire MLB. The NL Central was won by the St. Louis Cardinals. And the NL East is still up for grabs with 6 games left. Mets and Braves. Braves behind the Mets 1 game. By 1 game, we'll see what happens down the stretch. But it should be entertaining. Seattle, the Seattle Mariners are still trying to hold on to that final 3rd wild card spot in the American League, while the Phillies of Philadelphia are trying to hold on to the 3rd spot in the National League.
So, when did the Guardians change their name? Was it 20 or was it 21? Because if I
want to say it was 20.
Was that their first season, or did they change and their first season was 21? Because if it was 20, then that season they went to the wild card, so they made the playoffs. But in 21, they missed the playoffs. So it's just a matter of when did they change their name. So I mean, I'm gonna find that out real quick because now I'm down the rabbit hole. Now I'm curious. I want to know.
Yes, I do too. Well, while you're looking that up, I'll talk about.
I'm sorry, I was faster than you were. It was July 23rd, 2021. So yes, this will be their first playoff appearance since the name change.
All right.
So kudos to them. I mean, they lost their wild card playoff in 20. They're like, to heck with everything. We're going to name change. We're going to do all this new stuff. And, well, it worked. They're back in the playoffs.
They are back. And so are the Cardinals. The Cardinals are back. And they bring along.
I honestly, a little side note, not a Cardinals fan. I'm a Washington Nationals fan. But this is the best story in MLB in the playoffs. I mean, Aaron Judge should have as many home runs as he possibly wants, and he'll probably he's pretty young, so he'll probably break more records to come, but he's got years. I mean, this is Pujols and Molina's, this is their swan song. This is it for them. They told everybody that they're retiring after this year, and I honestly don't know. Since I've been paying attention to baseball, I don't know a lineup that doesn't have Molina in it unless he's hurt.
Right.
With the Cardinals.
He's always been.
And when he's hurt is almost never.
Right.
He's a tough son of a gun, and so he's always back there behind the plate. And so imagine having a new person behind the dish. It's just unfathomable.
Right. Yeah,
it's something you say Cardinals baseball. My generation says Yachty.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, a lot of people would relate Yachty to St. Louis.
Yeah, and I mean, also a lot of people say Pujols, and you think Cardinals baseball.
Right. Yeah. Pujols. Just
Pujols and Yachty, I mean, those two have been staples of Cardinal baseball. I mean, Pujols left, so I mean, he's a little bit less of a staple than Yachty, but they still have been staples of
But
St. Louis baseball.
yeah, 10 plus years as a Cardinal for both of them. Just say how
iconic they are in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be emotional. You know, their last game. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a St. Louis fan.
Me neither, I'm sorry.
But you're a Cubs fan, so you have every reason to not be.
I have a love-hate relationship with Albert Pujols.
Yeah, right. But it'll be an emotional one for sure. I mean, you know, maybe a tear might be shed because, like I said, like 10 plus years means that you're there. You know, an entire generation has grown up seeing you, pretty much. You know, and an entire generation just thinks of you as the catcher, thinks of you as first base. And it's those two words, or those three words, Cardinals baseball, Yadier Molina, Albert Pujols, all are linked, and they will be forever.
Yeah. Especially for this generation.
Yeah.
You know, Mark McGwire was the older generation.
Yeah, that was.
And now,
yeah.
And now you have this new generation made from Pujols and Molina.
Yeah. And it'll be
maybe even Wainwright.
Yeah. Yep, Wainwright too.
But if you didn't know, Albert Pujols joins an elite company, 700 home run club, only 4 people to do it. Pujols, Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth. That's some elite company right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got history all up and down that lineup that you just mentioned, and congratulations to Albert Pujols for joining. I mean, some people that you say their name, you think baseball right away.
Yeah. Yep. How about this stat? He hit a home run in his career off of 450 different pitchers, not the same one every single time.
450 different pitchers.
Yes, that just shows his longevity of hitting home runs.
Yeah, his ability to hit home runs off of, honestly, literally anybody. Right.
From 22 to 40 plus, still hitting long balls.
Right. And seeing him as well as anybody, I mean, you know, it takes 2 parts to hit a long ball. I mean, it takes the vision to know that it's coming and you can hit that thing out the park. And it takes the muscles and the power to do so.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes the both mental to realize you can do it. You know, you can hit that, you know, fastball that's coming right down the middle. It takes the mental part to recognize that that's what that is. And it takes the physical to have enough power to hit that, turn it around, and smack it back out the park.
Yeah. Some might just look at the 700 home runs, but there's more history that he didn't make with that. He is now second in MLB history to have 700 home runs and 3,000 hits. The only other player to do that was Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron, man, that's a name that's also, you know, that's the power. Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, I mean, well, Barry Bonds, but, you know, it's kind of iffy there, but
it's a touchy subject.
Right, but, you know, Hank Aaron, Babe Ruth, and now Pujols with the hits and the power, and, you know, synonymous with power is what those three names are. You know, they're synonymous with hitting taters.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Babe Ruth was probably eating taters while hitting taters, but you know,
We'll never know.
no offense, but he looks like he's been you know, but yeah, that is some elite. Those are some elite stats.
I'll just run down his career highlights. In 22 seasons, yes, 22 seasons, 2 Gold Gloves, 3 MVP awards. He has a Rookie of the Year, 6 Silver Sluggers, 1 League Championship MVP, 2 World Series, an 11-time All-Star, and 59 home runs against my Cubs.
Oh, you had to add that depressing stat in there. Yeah.
He's also homered against all 30 MLB franchises.
That's really something. I mean, you know, you can homer off your rivals and do all that stuff, but all 30, you know, that is an accomplishment in and of itself because, you know, it's hard to hit a home run. And
yeah, it is.
It's hard to hit as many as he had, and you know, he's done it off of a lot of pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, different pitchers.
That's for sure.
He's done it off of every team, probably in every park.
Yeah, probably.
You know, probably in every park, which all are designed. There is no standard for, you know, there's minimums for, you know, walls and stuff, but there is no set standard for outfields.
Yeah.
You know, so he's probably hit one in every park against every team, against probably a majority of the pitchers he's faced.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's just nuts. And it's just mind-blowing. You know, so it'll be interesting to see what the MLB season has for the 6 games remaining and for postseason play.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what numbers they end on, especially Pujols being in his final season.
I mean, Judge a little less so because, like I said, he's got more seasons to go. I mean, it's more for postseason play. It's more of the Yachty and the Pujols show. In my opinion, it is all about seeing how far that Yachty and Pujols can go before it inevitably ends. Hopefully, it ends with them on top and can ride off in the sunset, kind of like Peyton Manning did.
Yeah.
But only time will tell, man. Moving on. I mean, we've got NCAA football that we've got to cover. Well, we don't have to cover it, but we're going to cover it. We're going to. Hey, you got notes, so we might as well cover it. You know, what kind of run me through some of those highlights over there.
Well, I don't have much.
I'm
just kidding.
That's fine.
Well, we are in Iowa, so I got both of our teams. Iowa State lost to number 17 Baylor, 31-24. A lot of the Iowa State fans said they got robbed by the refs. I didn't see it, so I have no idea if that's true or not, but if it is, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Iowa State Baylor, that was one I lost on my betting slip. I mean, I had the parlay with the with Iowa State and Iowa both covering the spread, and obviously Iowa State did not cover the spread. What else you got on that sheet?
Nebraska got a much needed bye week. They didn't win, they didn't lose, so that's a good start for their new head coach, Mickey Joseph. If you didn't know, Scott Frost was fired a couple weeks ago after their upset loss to Georgia Southern. Iowa defeated Rutgers in their first Big Ten game of the new season. That brings them to 3-1 and 1-0 in the Big Ten. Just highlights of the game. Still can't get their offense going. They struggle again. 2 defensive touchdowns for the Hawkeyes. That's pretty much what saved them.
Yeah. Yep, I saw that. I saw that. I knew that Rutgers wouldn't be a huge challenge, but I mean, it was still kind of a weird challenge because the Hawkeyes are in a weird spot.
Yes.
They're in a spot where their defense is carrying the most of the games, and most of the, time spent on field is defense, which I don't like. I was ranting to you the other day. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the number 1 defense in the country, which the Hawkeyes are up there. I think we're top 5, maybe. Top 5, top 10, I think, is what I saw.
We're one of the best.
But you can't be top 5, top 10, top 5 defense for 4 quarters without much of a break.
No,
especially like the Hawkeyes. So
yeah, especially when you get into the bulk of the Big Ten schedule. Like when you face the Michigans, the Ohio States. I think Minnesota is good against this year. You're going to have an offense in those games.
Right, and that's exactly so. It's kind of mind-boggling.
And it showed in the Big Ten championship last year against Michigan. It showed our offensive struggles.
Yep, and I don't know. I don't know what the answer is because, I mean, Ferentz is good enough that he can bounce back after a bad year and still still have his job.
Yeah.
Which is some kind of frustrating for us Hawk fans, because everybody comes into, anybody who has paid any sort of attention knows what I was going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to run, pass, punt, and rely on the defense.
Yep. And I think it's frustrating because everyone knows what you're going to do, like you said. And Coach Ferentz has his own way of doing things. And most of the time, he's not going to change.
Right. It'll take something kind of drastic for him to change. And it's kind of, it's honestly kind of frustrating to watch because, like, I don't want a season to go down the toilet just because the stubbornness and unwillingness to change.
Yeah. And I don't see him getting fired anytime soon. Maybe he retires in the next 5 or 6 years. I'm not sure. But I don't see him getting fired anytime soon because he does just enough to get us to a bowl game. We might win 6 or 7, 8 games in a season, just enough to get to a decent bowl game. And that's enough for him to stay another year, and then he does it again. No, you can stay another year.
Exactly. And another year and another year and another year. And just eventually, you look up and we haven't had a head coach change since he took over.
Yeah.
For Hayden Fry, who also was a longtime Hawkeye coach.
Yeah, But I'm really interested to see what happens when the new conferences take effect and there's more teams in the Big Ten and there's
Right.
more teams in the SEC.
Yep.
And I'm interested to see if he changes that, which don't get me wrong, I don't think he's going to change when that happens either. But when there's more teams, there's more of a chance that you won't make a bowl game or won't win or won't be in the top tier of the Big Ten. You know, when you have some top tier Pac-12 teams coming in, when you have some other teams joining you. I don't know if there's going to be more than just Pac-12 coming in, but when you now have about 18 to 20 teams in your conference, it's going to get hard. Yeah, it's going to get harder, I should say.
Yeah,
because the Big Ten is already hard.
Yeah, it is, and it's just going to get that much harder with with everything going on. So it's going to be tough to see.
Yeah,
it's going to be. We're going to have some growing pains because, like I said, I don't think he will. I don't think he'll change right away. It'll take some time, and I think during that time, we're not going to have great seasons.
Yeah.
But I think he will change eventually because he either has to or he gets fired. Let's be honest. But anyway, going down the rest of your list here.
We had Kansas State pull an upset on Oklahoma, which was interesting. They beat them 41-34. The former Nebraska quarterback, Adrian Martinez, 4 rushing touchdowns.
Yep, I saw that he had.
I'm kind of happy for him.
Yeah, he got out of a bad system,
got out of Nebraska,
a better system, and now he's on his way. Yeah,
he got out of Nebraska, which was just killing him, and he's now showing out in Kansas State, and now I think he has a chance to make it another level.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's got another couple gears in him that Nebraska wouldn't let him have. So I think he'll have a better opportunity to do what he wants to do. And going on to NFL and to the rest of the week 3 games. What you got for us? I mean, I know we already covered Green Bay and Tampa Bay.
Yeah, we already covered that one. Packers won 14-12. The Vikings came back to beat the Lions. I think they scored about 14, 17 points in the fourth to take down Detroit.
Yeah, which is kind of weird that had to be a comeback situation, but
Yeah, but I always say, and it's true, that Kirk Cousins is better at noon games on Sunday than he is prime time.
Noon game,
I don't know why.
noon or afternoon. Or the noon kickoffs or the 3:25 kickoffs. Yeah, he's infinitely better than a prime time game. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they count Thursday as prime time in the NFL. Like, I think it's kind of garbage time. Like, Monday night and Sunday night are the actual prime times. But I also believe that even in Thursday night, he struggles. So It doesn't matter if it's prime time to the NFL or not. He tends to struggle in night games.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Minnesota just needs to schedule every game on a Sunday.
On a Sunday at noon or afternoon.
Noon or 3:25.
Right.
Something like that.
Yeah, there is no 5 o'clock kickoff for them.
The Ravens.
Or I guess not 5 o'clock, it'd be 7 o'clock, but whatever. You know what I mean.
Yeah. The Ravens defeated the Patriots. Mac Jones left with an injury. He's no update on him. Lamar with had 4 passing touchdowns with 1 rushing. He just had another great game, over 100 rushing yards. The Panthers defeated the Saints 22-14. Bears walked off the Texans in a way, a last-second field goal for the Bears against Houston, 23-20. The Eagles beat Washington 24-8. Upsetting.
Which honestly isn't that much of a chore.
No,
I mean the Commanders aren't great.
Yeah, upsetting.
Haven't been in a while.
Upsetting performance by Carson Wentz against his old team.
Right.
9 sacks by the Eagles in that game.
Yeah, that honestly was a shellacking, as we say.
Yeah, and that brought the Eagles to 3-0 on the season, and the lead in the NFC East. The Colts upset the Chiefs in overtime. A great throw by Matt Ryan in overtime to win it for Indy.
Yeah, and that was also a weird thing because you would expect that Casey is good in overtime, given what we saw in years past. So that was kind of surprising, and it was also kind of surprising that the Colts beat Kansas City at all.
Yeah, we talked about the Dolphins earlier. They beat the Bills in a great game, 21-19, despite Josh Allen throwing for over 400 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And we've got to talk about it. Got to talk about it.
Yep.
The good old butt punt.
Oh, yes.
Move over, Mark Sanchez. We got a new one. It's called the butt punt, and it's all the rage these days, I guess. Man, that was weird. It ricocheted off his behind and into the. And did it go all the way into the crowd?
No, I think it just landed in the back of the end zone.
Okay, but
on the white.
But you know what that is? Still safety.
Still safety.
Which is crazy. I mean, you have to be living under a rock to not know that happened because, I mean, scrolling through social media, there's been meme after meme after meme about it. And so, you know, everybody knows about it, but so we have to talk about it. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's because you're backed up in the end zone, but I don't know what that guy was doing.
Right. Usually when punters are backed up in the end zone, usually
the blockers are split out more.
They're spread out more, but if they're feeling pressure, usually they'll run out to one side or the other and try to just
kind of rugby
kick it.
Kind of rugby it, yeah.
Yeah, just to get it off.
Right.
But to actually, you know, backed up all that way and still do a regular punt is kind of risky.
Right, kind of risky, and I mean the formation looked a little off, you know, with the blockers being so close together, and you know, not firing it from one side or the other kind of was a little bit questionable as well. So I don't know what really happened, you know, in that play, you know, why they called it the way they did, but they did, and you know, it's got to be a painful lesson for that blocker. I'll tell you. I mean, that looked. Football, some wear butt pads, some don't, and so you know, depending on the player, he could have had a butt pad, which kind of absorbed a little bit of the blow, or maybe not. But you know, that's a pretty hard kick coming right at you. So
yeah.
And that, and to add insult to injury, if you watch the end of the play, you know, right after, the punter follows through and hits him again.
Yes.
He follows through and kind of stumbles into him. So he got hit not once, but twice.
But what do you think's really, really worse here? Kicking it into someone's behind or running face first into someone's behind? Because Sanchez basically ran into his blockers behind, but the punter actually kicked it into someone's behind, which
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because both are equally embarrassing.
Yeah.
And both should not have happened at all.
Right.
And so I don't know. That is a coin flip toss up right there, because on one hand you've got Mark Sanchez, who should have obviously known that there was somebody in front of him and not just scrambled forward and fumbled the ball. And did they get that back? I think the defense recovered that ball.
Yeah, I think they lost it.
Yeah, they lost the ball in the play. Or on the other side, you backed up in your own end zone and kick the ball into your teammates behind and send it backwards through the. I think that one's worse for one reason. That direct play resulted in points for the other team.
That's fair.
The Mark Sanchez butt fumble, I don't know what happened on the drive that followed the turnover, but I mean, it has a potential for points, but it also has a potential to be stopped. The butt punt that went into the end zone, or went backwards through the end zone and ended up being a safety, that one play directly resulted in points for the other team. So I think that's why I think the butt punt is slightly worse. And I don't know if you agree. Do you agree on that?
I think they're, like you said, I think they're equally as embarrassing. I mean, it's embarrassing to run into your offensive lineman and is behind, but like you said, kicking it off one of your linemen for a safety, that puts the game in jeopardy for you guys.
Yep.
That's equally as embarrassing because Buffalo easily could have came back and won that game after that.
Yeah. And that was kind of a short recap. I know we didn't hit all the games, but that was kind of a short recap of Week 3. Moving on to Week 4 in the speed round, okay? Because we want to try to keep you guys entertained, but not for too long so you get bored. So here we go, speed round, Week 4, 8:30 a.m., Vikings at Saints in London.
That's a good game.
We also got our noon games. We got the Jets at Steelers, Chargers at Texans, Bears at Giants. Stop me if anything kind of jumps out at you. Seahawks at Lions, Jaguars at Eagles, Browns at Falcons, Titans at Colts, Commanders at Cowboys, and Bills at Ravens. Anything in the noon slot kind of ring a bell to you? Kind of get your motor running. I know you're a Steelers fan. Maybe the Steelers game gets you a little hyped up for the noon slate.
Well, I sure hope we can beat the Jets. But
yeah.
But they get Zach Wilson back, so I don't know. Could be a decent game. I won't say it would be an easy win, but
yeah.
I hope we get the win there. The Bills and Ravens should be a good one to watch. That should be a decent scoring game.
Yeah.
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson going to go at it. That should be entertaining. Titans and Colts in a divisional showdown. That might be entertaining for Titans and Colts fans.
Yep. The one I'm circling for one I will absolutely avoid is the Commanders at Cowboys. That is a divisional game. Yes, but it is also the Commanders. Kind of kind of a poop show.
Yes, Carson Wentz hasn't been doing as well as he should be. Cooper Rush has been great filling in for Dak, so I'm gonna go Cowboys.
That'll be a one-sided. Yep. The afternoon games, the 3:25 games, you got Cardinals at Panthers, Broncos at Raiders, and Patriots and Packers. I mean, I'm circling Patriots and Packers because, as will, I mean, that is the best. To me, obviously, besides being a Packers fan, that is probably the best game on that slate.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if Mac plays. Right now he's listed as doubtful, but I'm interested to see if he will play or not. If he doesn't, I'm not for certain who the backup is for New England, but he might get some playing time, but unfortunately it'll be against Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers.
Right. All right, 7:20. So the Sunday night game, you got Chiefs at Bucks. We've already kind of talked about that. I think I'm gonna circle the Chiefs on this one.
Yeah, that might be a good pick.
I mean, it's always tough to root, or to say that, with Tom Brady on the other side of the field.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs will pull it out. I'm circling Chiefs.
Circling Chiefs. Yeah, it's interesting since Hurricane Ian missed them, so they're able to play in Tampa and not Minnesota. They were ready to go to Minnesota if Hurricane Ian was going to go through Tampa. Luckily, it didn't, and we'll have Sunday Night Football. I think it'll be a close game. I think Tom Brady will play much better than he did last week against Green Bay. But I'll still say I'll still go with Kansas City.
Okay, and before we go here, we're going to do a segment that we are probably, this is kind of a working title, Best Bets. I am going to put my bets out there. I'm going to put my coworker, he gave me permission, John Howren, I'm going to put his bets up, and we will see who the winner of the week is. We're gonna have a winner of the week. He's got more games than I do, but he's got it all on one bet. Let's go. He's got John Howren. He's got Buffalo -3. I think that'll hit. I think that'll hit if the Bills win. If the Bills win, I think the spread hits. If the Ravens,
I think that'll be a back and forth game. So it's just
they have to win by more than a field goal. So I think that I do think that Buffalo will pull it out. I think that's a good bet.
Yeah.
I think Green Bay. He took Green Bay straight up on the money line. I
like that.
I like that. Chargers -5.5.
They're.
Yeah, I think that. I don't
I'm
know.
Not sure.
Chargers at Texans. Texans are home. Chargers 5.5. Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like that. Actually,
you don't.
I don't like that.
Why don't you like it?
Justin Herbert, he's good. Just last week he didn't show me anything great.
Right, but also the Texans.
It's the Texans, but they have an okay quarterback and they might be able to get it done. I'm not saying they're going to win, but they might be able to keep it close and just break that bet.
Yeah.
Just ruin that bet.
Yeah. And he's got the Eagles -6.5. Yes. Yes.
I like that.
I like that 100%. And I think that so he's got these all in a parlay. So if he loses one of these, he loses his entire bet.
I will say the Jaguars have been impressive. They have stunned a lot of people
Impressive.
with their play. I wouldn't be surprised if they ruin that bet as well.
Right.
But I can see the Eagles winning by 7 or more.
So he's got all those on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4-leg parlay. So on my side, I have a single bet of Green Bay minus the 9.5 on the spread. Obviously, I like that, or I wouldn't have bet the game. What do you think about it?
The spread,
The spread's a little high.
The spread is a little high, minus 9.5. I think it all depends, in my eyes, on if Mac Jones plays or not. If he does, that could be in danger. If Mac Jones plays, it could be a close game, especially like we talked earlier about the Green Bay defense. But if he doesn't play, then the over might be in jeopardy, but the spread probably will hit.
Right. And on that, I also have, on that same game, I have a what they call a same game parlay. So I have Green Bay minus 9.5 on the spread and over 42. So I have to hit both. Those both have to hit for me to win that money. And it's 3-1. I put 5 down. I'll get about 15 back if I get that. So what do you think about that?
I like it. It's not too bad.
Like I said, the spread kind of makes me nervous a little bit, especially if Mac Jones plays. But I'm kind of betting he doesn't, so that's why I kind of put that out there. So we'll see what happens. For my co-host, Reese Webb, I am Devin Taylor. Thank you for listening to Sportsball Roundup. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day.